Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of A Gardener's Journey Homestead. I am Barbara. I'm in Zone 7A, and today I'm going to do the March garden tour and just take you around the greenhouse and let you see kind of what's going on. And as we're kind of transitioning to spring, some of the temperatures have been really crazy. It's gone everywhere from 75 degrees in Tennessee all the way to it was like 15 last night. So anyway, the greenhouse is holding steady. So I'm gonna take you around and let you see what's going on and how things are progressing and our plans for the upcoming months. Okay, we'll start here with the eucalyptus plant. You can see that it's kind of holding strong. I do have a little brown right there. I'm not sure what that's about, but I'm assuming that it's going to get bigger once the temperatures get temperatures get warmer, I should say. So in bed one, you can see I've cleared a lot of this out. This is where the carrots and the beets were. They weren't really doing anything. I got a few carrots, but I've cleared that out to make space as we start transitioning. But you can see the parsley here is still doing good. Got some chives back there. The Merlot lettuce is growing bigger now that the temperatures are a little bit cooler. That is romaine lettuce. But then you can see here, my little lettuce blend mix here. It's there, but it's growing very slowly. You can see on that row as well. And then that's a new lettuce that I just planted that is coming along. This right here, remember, this is the pepper plant that I'm testing out to overwinter. That was, I think, a yellow bell pepper. So we're going to see what it does once it gets hot enough. So here is bed number 2. I've planted a lot of lettuce starts in here. That I just got those from Home Depot, and it's butter crunch lettuce. Now this lettuce right here is lettuce seed that I actually planted myself, and so this one is coming up nicely, and then that one is slowly catching up. So I sowed these close together because it's going to be more like baby lettuce. But then here you can see on the romaine, I did those further apart to kind of have a head of lettuce. So you can see that there. And then you can see here, that's a collard green. Because remember, I had run out of space and I had one left over, so I popped it in here. And it is coming along nicely. It wasn't doing anything at first, but now it is. There's my sage hanging on. And then that's another green right there. So it's amazing how the weather and the temperature, if it's a cool weather crop, like it's going to thrive a little bit better. So bed number 3 is where the mustard greens are. They are still doing great, as you can see. And then here is the spinach that I planted by seed, I think in December. It is starting to come up. That one looks good. That is slow, but then that one is looking good. So guys, one of the things is, I'm still trying to figure out the whole timing thing, because like the greens and stuff are doing good. It's the middle of March. I assume they'll probably make it to probably, I would say the end of April, I would assume, until it gets too hot. Here, the weather can start to get hot like in May in Zone 7A. But it's like, man, I don't want to pull it up when it's doing so well, but I know that I'm going to need the space come, May. So it's like that fine balance. Again, if you have tips on that, on timing and, spring versus summer and how you do all that, please put it down below. But let's see what the other side is looking like. So this is something new. I just planted this today, and I actually did a video on this that I'll share as well. But this bed right here are onions from Dixondale Farms. It is the candy variety. So it is a yellow onion candy. So these are newly planted. So I have one that I'm trying out here in the greenhouse in the raised bed. So you can see I have those planted. This bed is pretty much primarily empty. So again, we're in the transition of, coming from the fall to the spring, to the summer. So there is nothing else left in this bed. Remember, there was broccoli in here. It wasn't really doing anything. I've gone ahead and taken that out. The only thing I left was the Brussels sprout. That's the only thing left in this bed, and I'll keep giving it a chance. The Brussels, see if you can see that. You can see that the Brussels are still relatively small. When I'm looking at it, it looks bigger than it does in real life. So they're still small. I don't think they're ready to come off and eat. I want them to get bigger. So I'm leaving this one in here as long as I can, just to see what it'll do. And then in this bed here, again, we have more Brussels sprouts there, but this bed is, not too full because this is where I had planted cabbage that didn't do well, so it's been empty for a while. This cabbage here started to liven back up. Again, it's so strange how it can do nothing and then all of a sudden it starts to do something. And then you can see the Brussels sprouts here. These are a little bit bigger. And then you can see the Dino Kale and then coming up. So mostly this bed is empty. I got a few things hanging on, and I'm gonna just reserve that. I'm gonna let these hang out as long as I can until I need the bed, and then we'll put some summer stuff in it. Let's stop by my flowers. They're looking really, 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 really good. And I'm debating on whether I'm gonna use these round metal beds for herbs in the summer or flowers. I haven't decided. On my crop plan, it says herbs, but I'm going back and forth. So anywho, here are the stuff in the ground. So this is mustard greens. It's doing well. Let me just back up so you can see just an overall shot. This looks so good to me. It makes me so happy when I come out here, all this green. And again, the greens have consistently done well. So all of that is mustard greens there. Let me show you my cabbage. I'm so proud. I wanted to get bigger. It's not that big, so I wanted to get bigger, but I'm so proud because last year, y'all, my cabbage did not even head. And so this is the first year that my cabbage has headed. That's greens over there. Here is the Swiss chard. It's doing a little bit better than it has been. It's bigger. I got some weeds growing that I got to get out of there. That's more greens. Here's the Dino Kale. And then here's another cabbage that's heading up. Y'all, it makes me so happy. So happy. So it's not, the head part is not as big. So that's why I'm letting it get bigger. But I'm so glad at what I do have. And of course, you can eat those cabbage leaves as well. So this is another cabbage that's slow, but it's trying to head up eventually. And then all of this are the greens. And y'all, I gotta get my screens fixed. When we first got the greenhouse, my dogs did that, and it's been the hardest thing trying to find. That is insect netting. That's not the plastic, that's insect netting. It's been the hardest time trying to find the insect netting to replace it, and then how to do it without taking the whole greenhouse apart. It's one of the things that's on the list, but just haven't had a chance to do it. But again, I try to be perfect, or I like for things to look a certain way, let me say that. And sometimes they don't. Here are two cabbages that are growing together. They're like twinsies. I'm afraid to pick one up and put it in another place. I'm just gonna let it hang out and grow together, and hopefully they don't suffocate each other and they'll both grow. But that's probably, I put 2 seeds in it and both seeds germinated. And then this is all the greens here, you can see. And again, this is still a work in progress with the greenhouse and the landscaping and making it beautified. And then I'll walk you down what I call greens row. Look at all of these beautiful collard greens. We have harvested 4 times, and you can see that I have another harvest waiting on me that I need to harvest and pick. I'm thinking I can at least probably get 2 or 3 more harvests out of this, and this will be good until the end of April is what I'm thinking, but we shall see. So all of this is doing really, 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 really well. And then I wanted to show you this Brussels sprout here. You can see it looks like that on the inside, and I'm not sure why and what caused it. So if you're good at Brussels sprouts, let me know. I haven't pulled it up because I have some Brussels sprouts on there, and they're a pretty nice size. Y'all see that? They're a pretty nice size. So let me know. I've looked it up, but I haven't been able to find anything that tells me why the inside of the Brussels sprout looks like that. And am I still okay to eat the Brussels sprouts if it looks like that? I don't know. These on this side are the greens. Remember, I sowed some seeds I think the 3rd or 4th week in December. So that's why these are not as mature. And remember, I said in that video that I was going to do it just to see what would happen, to see if I had enough time to get me another harvest. So slow, but they might make it. And then right here is transitioning into kale, which this is Russian red kale. The other kale I have is dino kale. So that's the down and dirty on the greenhouse. Overall, I think it's going well. Again, I got some empty beds, and so now I'm just trying to figure out, again, my crop plan, what I'm going to plant where, and then when do I do that if stuff is still going really, really well, like the greens and all of that stuff. Like, I don't think they're going to last once it gets hot. So just trying to figure all of that, the timing and the transition. Obviously, you know that I sowed some seeds. I've started seeds. I did a video on that, I think a week or so ago, so I'll link that up here. So if you have any tips, definitely let me know. In the back of the house, all we have, the garlic is looking great. Garlic is pretty easy. So that's all we have planted right back there so far is the garlic. And I planted strawberries, which I did a video on that last week, and I'll link that as well. So I have 3 beds empty in the raised beds. I'm going to plant some onions back there. And then the other 2 beds I'm saving for summer stuff. Probably peppers is what I think I'm going to put out there because they did really, really well last time. So that's it. Again, every month it's the same, but something different, right? And that's all part of the journey. So I hope you enjoyed the quick tour today of how things are going in the March garden tour. And again, let's keep growing. Let's grow together because gardening is a journey. I'll see you next time.